Hello, 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 everyone. Good morning. It's Kate here again. Um, we're going to start another interesting topical issue that has to do with relationships. So, as the topic states categorically, I'm talking about Viola's story. Viola's story. So, Viola comes across as her story is relatable because a lot of times you hear women say women who are in relationships saying, "Oh, my husband is a very nice guy. My partner is a very nice guy." It's if you take time to ask these women what is really nice about your partner, they don't really know. They can't really pinpoint what exactly is nice about the guy. All they know is that he is nice. All they just know is that he's a nice guy. You see, um, what you realize that in that kind of relationship, using Viola as an example, right from the start of the relationship, there are signs to show that their would-be husband or their partner doesn't love them. He doesn't love them. So from the start of the relationship, um, Viola is the provider, financial provider. So she thinks she's doing the guy a favor. She thinks she's supporting him by financially taking care of him. And then he becomes relaxed and really doesn't want to move his feet, to move his ass, to actually go to get a job or to do anything that would kind of even support her. Even if he's a stay-at-home husband, he's actually not useful in the house. He still have to wait for her when she goes to work to do her 7 hours, 12 hours back to back job. She still comes back, runs into the kitchen, prepares his dinner, serves him, waits for him to finish eating, takes the plate, does the dishes, and does while he's sitting down right in front of television, in front of the TV bought by her. She's paying the TV license, paying the mortgage, paying the electricity bills, paying all the other utility bills in the on the home front. And yet, if you hear her speak about him, all she has to say, "Oh, but notwithstanding all of this, he's a nice guy." So you are almost tempted to want to ask, what exactly is nice about this guy? It doesn't provide for you financially. It doesn't provide you that emotional support that you need. It doesn't provide nothing. Even when she got into trouble attending court, it was not there for her. It doesn't help to pay the bills. It cannot keep to hold on to a job for less than 2 months. He will lose the job. He was sleeping with just about everybody around her, her close friends, making passes at some who came and obviously reported to her. So, but yet she kept on saying, he's a nice guy. He's a very nice guy. You understand? So, Viola is a typical story of, it's a relatable, Viola's story is a relatable story. A lot of women, even when they see the signs that a guy is just with them for survival, not because of love, they still don't want to tell themselves the truth. Because as it is now in this 21st century, a lot of people are raised based on survival, not raised based on love. So when they become adults and they go into their own relationships, they relate with whosoever they meet in that same way, be it a man or a woman. So, what are the signs that a man is not into you? What are the signs that a man is not into you from the beginning of the relationship? If you see any of these signs before you say I do, take to your heels. So the very first sign that a man is not into you is only coming around you perhaps because of what he intends to get from you. A man who doesn't consider your feelings. A man who doesn't consider your feelings is a man who doesn't listen to you. So when you say to that man, this thing you are doing to me is hurting me, he brushes your feelings under the carpet. He ignores anything that hurts you. He is not into you. A man who prefers his friends over you. A man that even when you are not there, a friend he has not seen in years can just pick up the phone and tell lies against you. He just takes on and he believes them. That man is not into you. A man that when even you are in public with him, somebody's trying to harass you, to bully you, he's not even affected. What hurts you doesn't hurt him. What pains you doesn't pain him. What is a point of concern for you? What gives you sleepless nights doesn't bother him. He just puts his head on the pillow and he sleeps off. It doesn't bother him. The moment you see these signs in a man, take to your heels. He's not into you. He's only there for survival. He's not there to be with you. He's only there because perhaps he has seen you are smart. He can use you as a stepping stone to stabilize himself financially. He's not into you. Remember, such a man can end up getting married to you, not because he's into you or not because he loves you, but because he feels that's the only way he can convince you to really believe in him so that you can just put down all your guards. He's really not into you. He's not into you. A man who doesn't care about how you feel, who is not into you, will not listen to you. So these are two things. He doesn't care about you and he doesn't listen to you. Listening to you doesn't mean that you have to control him. Listening to you is listening to your heartbeat, to what matters to you, what affects you as a person, what hurts you. If you feel hurt by his actions or the actions of other people around, and he is not bothered about that, he is not into you. He doesn't love you. He doesn't love you. Now, there's something I saw. I'm going to give credit to um, relationship rules. 5 signs that he doesn't love you, that a man doesn't love you anymore. 5 signs that a man doesn't love you anymore. So, if this kind of a man manages to obviously convince you to get married to him years down the line, after he has solidified himself, remember, originally the love wasn't there. So he tries as much as possible to pretend to, obviously, to convince you to trust him. And being a woman like Viola, she kept all her guards down and she began to trust him. But lo and behold, what happened? It starts, when after everything, it starts kind of, now he knows, well, there is nothing you can do to him. He's had enough of his time. He's been able to find his feet and everything. And then what do you now get from such a man? He now refuses to get intimate with you. Remember, intimacy is one thing that separates a lover from a friend. So if a man stops being intimate with you, there's a good chance, chances are that he has fallen out of love with you. Remember, he wasn't even in love in the first place, but he could do all of that because he was driven by his own greed, by his own um, intentions, what he intends to achieve from you at the end of the day. So he could pretend, but the moment he achieves all of this, he couldn't be bothered anymore. Then he comes out with his true color, doesn't want any. You remember the case, there's a previous case we dealt with in life stories about a woman who, a woman who, after she got married, on the same day, on the same night of her wedding, her husband did not consummate the marriage on her wedding night. So, well, in that case, you could see that he just wanted to get married to her. All his own intentions, oh, let's her just process the visa and take me over to the UK so that I can start making money. So he refused to consummate the marriage. And for the numbers of years they were married, according to her story, he did not get intimate with her for up to, he didn't get intimate with her for up to 4 times or thereabouts, if I remember on top of my head. So the second sign that a man is not into you, he spends more time away from you. Time is the one thing that you would always be willing to give to a person you love most in the world, mostly in the world. So if he is not giving you much of his time, it's possible that he doesn't love you. Not even possible, he doesn't love you. Doesn't love you. This is especially true when he starts choosing to spend time with his friends or his workmates or with other women. He finds the company of other women more interesting, more exciting. He wants to be more away from home. He doesn't want to be around you. Anytime he sees you, he's frowning his face. He doesn't love you. He never loved you. So these are all the signs. He picks fights more often. Anything that comes out of his mouth becomes irritable to him. At this point, he may just be trying to get you to hate him. He tries to start arguments with you because he wants you to loathe him. He doesn't love you anymore, but instead of breaking up with you, he's trying to get you to fall out of love with him too. This way, the pressure falls on you to break up with him. Sometimes he starts even recording conversations you have with him, starts taking pictures, starts monitoring you, even looking for signs, starts checking your phone to see whether you are cheating on him. Start taking pictures of things on your phone so that he can use that in the future to show to people to say, this is the reason why he broke up with you. He's looking for all kinds of reasons. He never loved you in the first place. Number 4, he stops making any efforts to communicate with you. Remember, communication is always going to be one of the most important aspects of any kind of relationship. So, and if you notice that a man has ceased talking to you, then that's a real problem. You can have your rough patches where you barely utter 2 words to one another, but if these rough patches become too drawn out, then it can become very problematic. He doesn't want to talk, he doesn't want to communicate. Even when you try to engage with him, he doesn't want to talk to you. And most times, even when he sees you, he doesn't want to have eye contact. He puts his head down because the feeling of guilt, because he knows that genuinely you've not done nothing to him. He doesn't love you and never loved you. Do you know it really sucks when a woman finds herself in a relationship with a man who doesn't love her? A lot of times she's usually the last person to actually know, especially when she has actually kind of trusted the man over the years, and she has sold out herself to the man. She's still willing to give her absolute best to the relationship. She still believes that there's a love somewhere that they share. Meanwhile, the man has checked out of the relationship a long time ago. You see? Even when she sees these signs, she still don't want to believe it. Even when the signs are glaring, she still don't want to believe it. She's thinking about what will people say. She's thinking about, oh, what about my children? She's thinking about what would the neighbors say. She's thinking about, oh, her religion. The religion says that she shouldn't divorce. She's thinking about, oh, extended family members, what would they say? Even though there are all the signs that there's something off, there's something wrong. All the signs are there. But she still keeps living in denial. She still keeps hoping that things are going. In fact, she gives all kinds of excuses, thinking that perhaps something is wrong somewhere. She tries to justify his actions just to make herself feel good, just to give her hope to continue to hold on, thinking that he's going to turn around, to turn over a new leaf. She doesn't want to accept that it's over. She doesn't want to accept that all along this man has been stringing her along. She doesn't want to accept, because she has a genuine heart. She started with a genuine intention with this man. But one thing I always say to people, when you have been rejected, whether you're a man, you're a woman, when you have been rejected by a man, especially with women, when you've been rejected by a man, there's an Igbo adage that says, onye ha jụrụ ọga ajụ onwe ya. For the Igbo speaking people, please pardon me. This is what they call Ngiri Igbo. So literally what it means is that somebody that has been rejected by another, you cannot reject yourself. God has not rejected you. If you have gone into a relationship with somebody with a genuine intention, and then later you've put in everything, your loyalty, your time, your love, your commitment, your sincerity, your prayers, thinking that you are building with that person, and suddenly the person turns around to backstab you. What can you do? One thing you must realize, and this is what I say to younger women who are planning to get hooked up, to get into a relationship themselves, do not think that you are doing any man a favor by supporting him financially. Do not think that that man owes you anything, or that there's a guarantee that 10 years down the line, he's going to remember whatever it is you think you are doing for him. He's not obliged. Very few men are credible enough to remember. Very few men. So if you are lucky enough to come across a man who is able to remember your goodwill, then praise to God, and kudos to such a man, because such a man understands actions and consequences. Posterity never forgets such men who remember the good deeds that a woman has done to them. But again, a majority of them, they are not obliged to remember. So don't think you go and put it in one diary to say he's going to remember tomorrow. So you prepare your mind. If you want to take the risk to do such, to take steps to now say you are supporting a man, it's a risk. There is no guarantee that tomorrow, 10 years' time, he's going to remember. There's no guarantee that 10 years' time, even his family members who were not there for them, for him, don't think they will remember that you were there, you were the one who was there for him. They will now just come when the man succeeds to say they were the ones who was there with the man. They were the ones who trained the man. They were the ones who did everything for the man. They will start claiming the glory. They will even start looking for a way to push you out, to take over the man's life. Some of them will start conjuring stories, making up stories about you, making up stories to incite the man against you. But do you know the most scary part is that a man who has lived with you more than his family members, who should be telling the family members more about what he knows about you, now joins the family members to castigate you. You know why that is possible? Because there was no love ever in the first place. That is why he can easily listen to his family members. That is why such a man is gullible enough to even allow his family members to start saying negative things about you, to start sowing seed, negative seed in his heart, giving him reason or justification to want to say he wants to leave the relationship. So you can't even blame the family members. You can't blame the family members because he himself, he is aiding and abetting the family members. I always say to women, why will anyone come to a man who has been married to his wife for so many years? The woman has been cooking, has been serving you. Sometimes she uses her money to cook. She's been taking care, building the home with you. And then suddenly somebody somewhere, maybe a pastor or a family member now says to you, oh, I went somewhere and they said, don't eat your wife's food. She's going to kill you. And then you that you've lived with the woman, you know what she's capable of doing. You know her inside out. You now suddenly start believing because that's what you want to believe. Because you're looking for something. Such a man is looking for something to hold on to. Just to give the woman a bad name, to find a justification for his own bad actions. Another way you will know whether a man loves you, when the man derails. You know, sometimes men derail. When a man derails and he's found cheating, you know, with men, until a man is found cheating or is caught cheating, no man is cheating. But when a man derails and a wife who he genuinely and truly loves finds out about his infidelity, the man automatically is sorry. He becomes sober. He looks for a way to reconcile with her. He continues to plead to her. He goes out there. He buys her gifts. He brings to the house. He pleads to them. He calls, even when she continues to say no, or still continues to brood over the cheating and the infidelity. He will now go step out to call some close family members, to call friends, to say, please help me talk to my wife. I have really wronged her. When she's crying, he will be crying. He will be very sorry. And it's like for every other thing. Imagine when you wrong God or you wrong a friend, you will be sorry when the friend is hurting. If you hurt somebody who is close to you that you really care about the person, it doesn't matter how you feel about what you've done. There is no justification, but you know that what you've done is wrong. And you know that that person is hurting. You will hurt also. You will feel bad. You will look for a way to let the person understand that you are sorry. But this is for a man that loves a woman. A man who doesn't love a woman can never ever say he's sorry, either in words or in action, when he's caught cheating. This is when he will raise his shoulders up and now say, oh, well, I'm doing you a favor. I'm married to you. There are better women out there. If you just misbehave, I'm leaving. They will start showing attitude. They will start giving you attitude. Because there was no love in the first place. So he doesn't even understand an iota of the pain that his action has caused his wife. Because there's no love. He doesn't feel for her. He doesn't love her. He doesn't care about what she feels or what she thinks or how hot she is or the damage that his action uh, may have cost her. He doesn't really care. He doesn't care. There are so many women who have been hospitalized and their husbands have been called to say, your wife is in hospital. They never turn up. They never turn up. This is refreshing. Say, it's been a long day. They never turn up in hospital. And you are wondering, the hardness of heart. Why will you go to marry another person's daughter? Why will you be so deceptive to the extent that you go to ask for a woman's hand in marriage? You know on the inside of you that you don't love her. You know you don't care about her. The moment you are past the age of 18, you have come to the age of knowledge. So you know the feeling. You know you don't care about her. And yet you've gone in to take undue advantage of her, to exploit her, and to damage her, to waste her time, to make her raise children who are now who because of your actions become dysfunctional. And you realize that such men, they don't care even about how their children feel. They don't care about how their children feel. They really don't care. What they fail to understand is that their children's memory of them should be that of a virtuous man. Their children's memory of them should be that of a role model. But because they have already messed up, even with the mother of those children, they really don't care. So in their mind, so follow your mother, just go. You are just like, they really don't care. They think they can go somewhere and start some uh, utopic life where they now start a life with some other woman and that will bring them some children that are invincible. In their mind, that's what they actually think. So they really don't care what happens to the children. One thing I realized about men, once they fall out of love with a woman, they fall out of love with her children, and then you start hearing, they go to your mother, those are your children. The children now becomes the woman's children, no longer their children, no longer their children. The children now becomes the woman's children. Another sign to show that a man has fallen out of love with you is when he keeps pushing your buttons. He knows your weaknesses. He knows your weak points. He knows what triggers you. So he keeps pushing your buttons so that you react. He wants to show the world that you're a bad person. He wants you to start screaming. He wants you to start acting mad. Some of them even want to break you mentally and emotionally to the extent that you end up in psychiatric hospitals. Some of them, they are determined to do it. Some will record every encounter with you so they can justify what they triggered to people. A man once booked an appointment to see me. A friend of mine called me from Abuja, and she said to me, "Oh, a male friend of hers, the wife has kicked him out. She took over the whole family property and blah blah blah." So I said, "Oh, really? What happened?" Said, "Oh, don't worry, it's coming to see you. He will call. I've given him your number. It's gonna come." to book an. So well, he booked an appointment and he came over and then he started telling me the story. So I started asking him a question. What happened? He said, "Oh, the woman she kicked me out. She's the one managing all the properties. Blah blah blah." So I said, "Well, if she kicked you out and you are not present at home, you are not even in touch with the children. Um, if she goes to manage the property, that does not mean that she's doing it. Do you want the properties to be repossessed now that you are not home? Nobody knows where you are. She's helping to keep the children stable. She's helping to keep the family business stable. What exactly do you want her to do?" So he said to me, "Oh, just hold on, my sister. Let me just hold on." He pulled out his phone and he said, "I want you to listen to this." And I think there was this recording he did, voice recording, and he put it on and I was listening. What I heard that it brought chills all over me. This was a woman who was distressed, crying, begging this man, begging him, crying, asking, "Do you want to kill me? Why do you leave all the responsibilities of the whole family on my head? I work back to back 12 hours, long shifts, long days, back to back, 7 days a week. I leave you under the duvet sleeping, leave the home by 6 a.m. in the morning. By the time I come back 10 p.m. in the night, you are still under the duvet sleeping. Do you want to kill me?" She was practically begging, saying that she wants to die. The stress is too much. So I said to him, "How many people have you actually played this voice note to?" He said, "As many people as possible so that they can see how bad, the kind of bad woman he's been married to for the past 25 years. I said, "My brother, you know what? To be quite honest, this voice note, it doesn't tell a good story about you as a man. This woman is in trouble. She was practical. This is a woman who needed help. She was practically begging you as her husband to feel for her, to help her, to support her. She was crying that she's dying. She will go on her shift. She will stand all day back to back while you are busy sleeping under the duvet." I said, "This is shameful. Please, as from today, in case no one has told you, you might think you are showing this thing to people for them to listen, but you're undoing yourself. You're actually showing to people how bad a husband and a father that you are. How you don't care for your wife. How you've left all the responsibilities to this woman. Please, don't pull out your phone or play that voice note to anybody again. Think of how to go and reconcile with your wife. Okay, now tell me, did she drive you out of the house?" He said, "No." So I said, "So why are you going about telling people that she drove you out of the house, that she kicked you out of the house? Did she call the police on you?" He said, "No." "So why did you leave the house?" "Oh, he got tired of the woman snagging, asking him to go get a job. So he got tired. She's too ambitious. She's too this. She likes money. He cannot kill himself." He was just going on and on and on. I said, "So you left the home on your own?" He said, "Yes." I said, "So, but the original story you told is that she kicked you out of the house and took over everything. The thing is that no matter how much you want to record, no matter how much you want to portray to the public or to whoever that the woman that you married is bad, one day the truth of the matter will come out." I said to him, "Go and reconcile with your wife. Go and reconcile with your children. Your children, they need you. Why are you moving from hotel to hotel, from renting one room to renting another room? And I've been told that your older sister is in this country. She's supporting you. She's putting a rubber stamp to this reckless life. You are not a young man anymore. You're in your 50s. If you are in your 20s or you are in your 30s as a man and you're making a mistake, you still have reasonable time to retrace your footsteps, to correct that mistake. But once you're in your 40s, in your late 40s and your 50s and your 60s, what time do you have to correct your mistake? What time do you have to correct your mistake? Do you think your children will now wait for you after you've started misbehaving, running from the bed of one strange woman to the other, when you are satisfied, you think the children will be home waiting for you, or you've already created the impression of the kind of father you are to those children. So I said to him, sorry, go home and reconcile with your wife. In fact, you need to actually applaud that woman, because despite the fact that you walked out on her and the children, she was still able to keep up with the home front. She was still able to make to bring a level of stability to her children. And rather than praise her and applaud her, you are saying she's greedy, she's too ambitious, she's this, she wants to kill you, she nags too much. That's why you left the house. Have you thought of what are the main things she was nagging about? Have you thought of how to correct those things? Have you thought of how to correct those things? So unfortunately, he actually, I told him the truth. I had a no holds barred conversation with him, truthful conversation. So when a man intentionally pushes your button, triggering you, he wants to break you. It is intentional. He has a diabolical agenda. He has a diabolical agenda. He records you when you start acting crazy after he has pushed your button. He records you when you are screaming. He records you when you are in your most vulnerable state, because he wants to paint this picture of how bad you are, to members of the public. But what he forgets to understand is karma never forgets. Karma never forgets. No matter, and children never forget. No matter what lies he wants to tell, no matter how much he wants to gang up with his family members, his children, they will remember. Karma also will remember. It's a matter of time. So, my advice for women, guard your heart. When somebody is playing with your heart, it is your responsibility to set a boundary. A man who triggers the worst in you, a man who brings out the worst in you, doesn't love you. A man who brings out the worst in you doesn't love you. I don't care how you want to say it. A man who makes you shed tears without feeling any remorse, he doesn't love you. A man who will cheat on you and hit his chest and still raise his two shoulders and expects you to come and apologize to him, he never really loved you. Because when a man loves a woman, then there's this music that says when a man loves a woman, he doesn't see anything wrong in what she does. When a man loves a woman, he abandons his friends and his family members and stands to protect her. When a man loves a woman, he becomes the provider, the protector, and the supporter, the cheerleader. When a man loves a woman, a little whisper from the woman, he will understand that the woman is not feeling fine. He will understand that the woman is hurting. When a man loves a woman, the difference is always clear. A man who loves a woman does not cause the woman pain. A man who loves a woman does not cause the woman hurt. Now, what am I saying in essence? It is not compulsory that a man should love a woman. But if a man would take steps, calculated steps, to say he's going to seek the hand of a woman in marriage, can he please help to keep to his marriage vow? Let it not be something he has done under deception. Let it not be something that was motivated by what he will get from that woman, because that amounts to deception and dishonesty. So if you're a woman out there and you're listening to me, and any of the things that has been mentioned, especially in Viola's case, if it's applicable to you, your prayer now is that you should pray to God, to the Spirit of God, to cause you to rekindle your vision in life. Let the Spirit of God cause you to rekindle your vision in life. Your vision in life is not to live with a man who doesn't love you and who has shown in his conduct consciously or unconsciously, that he doesn't love you. A man who has shown in his conduct, consciously or unconsciously, that he doesn't love you. A man who doesn't put you first, who doesn't prioritize you. A man who prefers to be with his friends, who prefers to listen to his family members more than you. A man who friends can come and tell lies about you to him, or family members can come and his family members can come and tell lies about you to him, and he believes them. A man that his sister can come up and say to him, "Oh, don't eat your wife's food. She's going to kill you." And he believes her. Such a man never really loved you. A man that his pastor or a church that will prioritize a church before you and your children, such a man never really loves you. A man that will meet with a group of people and they will say to him, "Don't tell this business secret to your wife. We want to make you a billionaire. Don't reveal it to your wife." The man never really loved you. A man that will accept strangers over you, that will prioritize strangers over you, he never really loves you. So look out for these signs. Look out for these signs, women. Don't be fooled. Don't be misled. Now, rounding up, one thing I must say to you: it is dangerous for a woman to be in a relationship where she knows she is not loved. Women, it's time to wake up from your slumber. It's time to wake up from your slumber. It is dangerous for a woman to be in a relationship where she knows she is not loved or appreciated. One thing is if you don't know, but once you know that you are not loved and appreciated, that you are not the man's priority, that the man doesn't care about what you feel and how you feel, it is dangerous for you as a woman to continue to remain in that relationship because you are thinking, what will my friends say? What would my family say? What will society say? Friends will laugh at me. What will this one say? It is dangerous for you to remain in such a relationship with a toxic man whose intention is only to come to steal, to kill, and to destroy. And he has tried everything to bring you down. And now what he does is to start punishing you, to start trying to damage you emotionally so that you can break down emotionally, end up in psychiatric hospital, and then he will find a justification, giving people the reasons why he left you. I hope as a woman, you will explore the points I've actually raised in this podcast, and you begin to ponder on what matters in your life. A lot of times we actually think that we're on this earth forever, but there's really no time. So if you're a woman, you're in your 30s, you're in your 40s, you're in your 50s, there's really no time. Do what makes you happy. Self-care. Self-care. If you have been deceived or misled by a man into a relationship and you finally find out, self-care, it's not too late. Make that move. Begin to find the things that matters to you. Begin to cultivate, begin to ask the Spirit of God to give you the vision. What is it that you want out of life? Begin to love yourself even better. Begin to pamper yourself. Go out there, make new friends. Pamper yourself. Register with a gym nearest to you. Go travel around the world. Do what makes you happy. Don't just sit out there and start waiting for the man to come, because he's never going to come anyway. He's never going to come. Such men, they end up learning their lesson between 5 to 10 years. But then, by then, you've already moved on. It will be too late. Stories have been told about men like that who end up getting their fingers burnt and they start coming back to look for their wives. By then, it is too late. Some of them don't live to tell the stories. Some of them die. Some of them lose all their money with the new strange women that they actually told you they preferred to you when the going was good. So dust all those rejection and abandonment from you. Move on with your life. because life is too short. The most dangerous thing a woman will do in her life, the most dangerous injustice that a woman will do to herself is to remain in a relationship where she knows she is not loved. I hope you've been blessed by this broadcast. I would like to know your comments, on the comment section. I want this, obviously, this platform to be as interactive as possible. Do you know of any woman who is suffering domestic violence, physical abuse, emotional and psychological abuse, and you think she wants to share her story? Get in touch with me. Let's make this platform a bit more interactive so that other women, they can learn from the experiences of others. And I thank you for watching this podcast to the end. Please like, share, and share. And if you have not subscribed yet, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Click on the notification button so that whenever I'm online, you'll be able to join me to on any of my broadcasts. So thank you very much for watching. God bless you. Bye bye.